Note number 1, emotions are never due to an experience or an event. Emotions are triggered due to the meaning assigned. Emotional genius, the genius that will take you everywhere in life. Welcome back to another video, BLivers. If you are new on this channel, I am Elizabeth, and here on this channel, we are all about designing a life of fulfillment through conscious creation. So if you resonate with the message, make sure you smash the subscribe button to join the family, and let's go ahead and dive into this video. How to reprogram the subconscious mind using emotional intelligence. Now listen up, because this is going to be very important. Now, the reason why we talk so much about developing our inner emotional genius, why emotional intelligence is such a powerful factor in the BLive movement and the BLive community, is because our emotional genius really is our North Star in order to leading us in the direction of what it is that we want, in order to guiding us and letting us know, like, is this the right move? Should we be doing this? And is this really in our best interest in acting in alignment with our highest and best self, right? And so what I mean by that is whenever we are in alignment with the things that we want, whenever we are feeling and acting in our highest and best self, we are going to feel great. We're going to feel elevated states of emotion. And so whenever we feel anything less than that, that is number 1, our signal to know that we are out of alignment from the things that we want, from the experiences that we want, and the way we want to feel, right? So that's number 1. The second thing about knowing this is that our emotional genius is really important for us to get in tune with, because we don't just have emotions because of an event or experience. We have emotions because of the thoughts and meanings we are assigning to those experiences, objects, people, etc., right? And so in order to reprogram our subconscious mind, we really want to become in tune with our emotional genius, because our emotions are going to indicate to us all day long, 24/7, if we are acting in alignment with firing our neurons and everything that has to do with aligning and programming our human body in alignment with the experience, with the manifestation that you want. So diving into number 1, the number 1 thing, we are going to go over 3 ways that you can use emotional intelligence to reprogram the subconscious mind. And number 1 is signal. Realize that, like I just said, you don't have emotions because of... You don't just get angry because someone punched you. That might seem logical, like, of course you're angry that you just got your ass beat or whatever. No, you got angry because of the thought, the meaning you assigned to that. Because we can all agree that a million people can get their ass beat, right? But depending on who got their ass beat and why they got their ass beat and who did it, it will create a different level of experience. Some people might be really happy. Like, I was just watching a fight with my boyfriend the other day, and he was like, I would love it if that guy punched me, right? Because it was just like, I can't even remember who it was, but it was like the super badass buff dude, right? And he would just want to know how hard he hit. But if some random dude, same guy, same man, if some random guy came up and punched my boyfriend, like, that man's gonna get knocked the fuck out, right? So we have to realize that it's the meaning, the association, the thoughts that we are assigning that's triggering the emotion, right? And so always realize that in order, step number 1 is obviously awareness. Aware of what's going on, how your external reality and how your internal reality are intertwining, how they're interacting. But then realize that number 2, okay, so I'm feeling this emotion. What is the thought that's triggering this emotion? And then you can go in and you can ask yourself the good questions. I'm going to link a video above and down below called How to Break Bad Habits That Hold You Back. It goes through this process in depth with first identifying the thoughts and then identifying the meaning, and then you can go and ask yourself the good questions to then begin to put yourself in the direction that feels good. And you always want to go with what's best, right? Because after you identify the thought that's triggering it, you want to ask yourself a question around that's a good question as if it's serving you. And then around that, you want to follow the flow, the answers that feel the best, right? Because when you're in alignment, you are going to feel the best, right? Second thing is habit of emotion. So I will also link a video above and down below. It's called 6 Signs, 6 Shocking Reasons Why You Cannot Snap Out of Feeling Down, Why You Can't Stop Feeling Down. And one of those reasons is because we are actually addicted to the chemicals, to the emotions that we are producing on a dominant basis. Reason being is our body's trying to maintain homeostasis on every single level, physiologically, mentally, emotionally. And so every single emotion we feel, whether that be joy, whether that be peace, whether that be anger or guilt, everything in between, it all produces chemicals. And so when your body gets used to a certain secretion of chemicals over and over and over again, it's like, okay, where's this at? We're used to this. Your body's like a drug addict trying to maintain homeostasis, keeping the same amount of chemicals that it's used to, right? And so if you have been in a prolonged state of trauma or sadness or anger or resentment, you got to realize that you are programmed in that way now too. And that's why it's actually a habit. And so when you start working your way, you start, number one, realizing that it's a signal, you can start becoming in the habit of developing good emotions by asking yourself good questions, shifting your focus in a direction that serves you, so that this can habitually be your habit of emotion. And when habitually you are in a dominant state of being of the thing you want, it's inevitable for you to link up to it. So it's very important that number one, you signal it. Number two, you make it a habit of emotion. So you do that through number one, which is the signaling, and then just working your way up, right? And don't beat up on yourself. Side note, do not beat up on yourself if you do not do a bunch of change all at once. It is, and I just learned this earlier this year in my hypnotherapy school, and I was so relieving because for the longest time I was very up and hard on myself. Like, why can't I just reprogram myself so fastly, so quickly? And I mean, you can, right? But I meant like a total transformation, like a whole new person. And that was because of the homeostasis thing, right? When you try to do so much changes at once, that's why people end up self-sabotaging, because your body literally freaks out because of how much unknown it is. Unknown equals unsafe. So it's literally trying to just keep you safe by keeping yourself in what's familiar. So slower is better. Slower is faster. Let me say it like that. Slower is faster when it comes to reprogramming yourself. If you try to work on too many things at once, you actually end up self-sabotaging, regressioning your success, even though you're still always going forward, of course. But if you go slower, you'll have less resistance, so you can go faster and you can engrave those beliefs in with less, obviously, resistance and less effort. So that is number two. Number three, last but not least, is love feeling good. So this might seem really silly, but have you ever been angry about something and then someone was like cheering you up and you're just like, leave me alone, like I just want to be angry or just want to be sad right now? And obviously you need to feel negative emotions because you need to vent things out, you need to process them, you need to feel in order to get through it. Anger and sadness is actually part of like the getting past any sort of negative emotion. You got to go up the emotional scale, right? But the thing is, if we're stuck in number two, which is the habit of emotion in a negative state, if we are not loving and becoming obsessed with just feeling good, aka feeling that we're worthy enough to feel good without needing to do XYZ, feeling that we're a good enough person, solid without having to do XYZ, just here we're at, breathing time, space, and reality, and also just being obsessed with the fact that like you deserve to live a good life just as much as any other human. And so when you don't believe those statements, you're not going to love feeling good. Therefore, you're going to self-sabotage and keep thinking thoughts that allow you to not feel the emotions that you want to feel. Therefore, keep reinforcing negative thoughts that don't allow you to carry out the actions and perceptions that allow you to align with the manifested reality that you truly desire, right? So if this is making sense, comment down below. Juice. If not, comment any questions down below that you have. It's really simple when it comes to emotional intelligence. It's just knowing that, number one, every single emotion is just merely a signal. So then step number two, identify what that signal is. Why are you getting triggered? What is the I statement? It's never because of something that happened. Is the meaning that you are putting on it, the identity statements, the things you believe about yourself and what this means for you based off that experience or person or thing. So you identify what that is and then ask yourself the good questions around this. Like, how does this serve me? How can I use this for my benefit? How can I bring this shadow to the light, right? Because anything that is irritating you is exposing the shadow side of yourself. So you want to ask yourself the good questions. Love feeling good, because when you love feeling good, it becomes more of a habit. And then when you are in the habit of being in a high elevated state of being, you are consistently aligning yourself with the reality that will allow you to experience the manifestations you want, because you have programmed yourself to send off a signal that links you to that reality. I love you guys so much. Like I said, I will link those videos down below that I had mentioned earlier before about 6 reasons why you cannot stop feeling down. And then also, I think there was one other one, but I forget, but I'll link that down below. Let's know in the comments what questions you guys have, what videos you guys want to make me, what videos you want me to make more of. And as always, you guys know I love you so much. Dream big, live large, and be live. Bye.